All right, let's talk some football. Let's talk
Mhm.
defensive front. Jalen Carter, of course, the headliner who moves on. Can you set the interior out to the ends for us?
Sure, it's losing Jalen. I mean, he may wind up being the number one pick is not a good thing from Georgia's perspective. But still, you're talking about a football team. We've talked about this before in the offense. The great job they do recruiting. They're just going to plug somebody else in, and who that might be, we'll have to wait and see. But you look across the front for Georgia next year, it's going to be, I think, Nazir Stackhouse. His back had a great season last year. Will be the main guy at nose. And you've got Michael Williams, who did a great job at defensive end, last season. I think as he approaches sophomore year, I think he's going to have a chance to be a very good player. But a guy to watch, so I think, is going to be Bear Alexander. We saw him in the championship game against TCU, had a couple of sacks, and is probably going to be the guy who I think is ultimately going to step in to Jalen's spot at that defensive tackle position. But again, it's a deep. They've got other players, so it's a deep defensive front. You'll still see Georgia rotating 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, and so even though you lose somebody like Jalen Carter, who was just one of the bigger, I think, disruptors in college football last year, the cupboard again is still not going to be empty for Georgia next fall.
Yeah, for guys like you that are covering this team or any team in college football day after day after day after day, you're obviously familiar with all the personnel, know the roster like the back of your hand. For somebody like
Mhm.
me, that knows 15 or 20 players on every team
Mhm.
and is trying to cover everybody at the same time, it's interesting to hear a name like Bear Alexander because some of these guys get recruited, and even if they're 5-star recruits, they may get lost depending on the situation for a
Mhm.
year and a half, maybe 2 seasons, and then boom, they pop up like he did in the championship game. And I was like, Bear Alexander, that dude was a huge recruit. I forgot about
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it was a huge recruit, one of the top recruits in the signing class, a season ago. And like most freshmen, it took him a little while to get adjusted and, be able to learn the defense. But really, about the second half of the season, you start seeing Barry in the lineup on third down. And it wasn't a surprise to people, again, who've been watching his team, that he was able to step up and do what he did. And I expect great things from him moving forward.